The Edge of Knowing by Jason Derek Watson. Chapter 3. The Quiet Work of Gods. The clinic where Thomas worked bore the hallmarks of privilege: glass-paneled serenity, soft bioluminescent lighting, and the barely perceptible hum of precision instruments nested behind seamless walls. It was a sanctuary of restoration, a luxury limb repair facility where the human body was not merely treated, but fine-tuned and reimagined. Thomas stood at his terminal, fingers hovering above the interface, but touch was only part of the ritual. He closed his eyes, exhaled slowly, and allowed his thoughts to align. The synaptic bridge initiated. It began as a subtle shift, a sensation not unlike gravity tilting inward, a glimmer of warmth at the base of his skull, followed by a harmonic pulse threading outward through his neural lattice. Then, connection. The system recognized him, accepted him. A stream of sensory data flickered across his retinal overlay like a language written in light. Only now could he begin. Before him, a cascade of bodily schematics unfolded. Cross-sections of limbs, bursts of capillary flow, matrices of nerve pulses, bone density spectrograms, cartilage integrity gradients, and immune activity patterns. It was a living portrait, updated in real time. He wasn't merely reviewing snapshots. The data stream came directly from the medicortex, the all-seeing neural lattice that absorbed a citizen's biological telemetry every waking and sleeping second. Billions of inputs, captured through nanosurveillance and sublimated into the omnipresent archive, were now his to command. Every cell in every body held a multitude of nanoparticles. Comparison scans, predictive analytics, longitudinal overlays, they were not tools, they were extensions of his thought. His synaptic bridge allowed him to feel the patient's condition as a form of heightened awareness, clinical instinct enhanced by direct neural inference. Adjustments were not typed or spoken, but imagined and enacted. Action flowed from intention. The medicortex served many masters. Many researchers at the think tank pulled from it to refine algorithms, to shape curriculum, or to perfect human design, among many other pursuits. It served the state through intervention protocols and surveillance. It served professionals like Thomas by providing a canvas on which miracles could be drawn. It served individuals by making every day feel like riding a ray of sunshine with personalized background music. And yet none of this felt extraordinary anymore. It was just life, work. Thomas adjusted the spatial rendering of a patient's left femur. New data flagged a microfracture in the metaphysis, barely a micron wide, invisible even to most protocols. He flagged it for laser sculpting and tissue reinforcement. His console pulsed softly, acknowledging the task. Everyone in New Hope looked young, not youthful in the traditional sense, but preserved and refined by time rather than worn by it. Chronological age was meaningless here. Citizens could be centuries old and still appear no more than 35. Outer ring residents, with fewer privileges, occasionally pushed the illusion to the 50s. But even that was rare. Eventually, your friends would pop for a makeover as a birthday gift. The city was shaped like a mandala, each concentric ring representing a blend of purpose and prestige. The closer one lives to the center, the more seamless the access to innovation, enhancement, and legacy. Services and goods on your ring were available freely, part of the unwritten contract of proximity. You earned your place, and in exchange, you received its bounty. Commerce existed only at the borders of limitation. If you needed something outside your ring, credits came into play, your currency not only for goods, but for motion. Upward motion, inward motion, the holy directions. If you want something from someone in a more distant ring, they would earn credits that could then be used to gain access to something from a more inward ring. Each ring is highly incentivized to garner the attention of any more inward inhabitant. Thomas's services were coveted. People from Ring 1 occasionally made the journey outward to Ring 2. When they did, he earned far more than standard compensation. Prestige followed skill, and Thomas's hands, though they rarely touched flesh, had shaped more than a few returns to full function, gaining him an exceptional reputation. Because of this, he never lacked credits. He could buy his way into Ring 1, but why? His facility was well within his comfort zone, and he had long ago exchanged the hunger for advancement with the sweetness of security. Still, there had been a time when he was not just brilliant, but ambitious. In the final cycle of his education, he had caught the attention of a professor overseeing one of the institute's most ambitious medical prototypes, a molecular targeting and repair system that blurred the line between surgery and sorcery. Through an elegant dance of focused lasers, flawed molecules could be vaporized, then rebuilt, atom by atom, by precision 3D printers sending organic components on beams of invisible light. Thomas had been among the first operators trained outside of the lab, entrusted to bring the process into public service. It made him invaluable. Overnight, he became a technician practitioner of the future, wrapped in layers of societal appreciation. But he never flaunted it. He didn't need to. This was always just how it was for him. The synaptic bridge had only deepened over the years. As his neural rhythms synchronized with the medi-cortex, it began to anticipate him. Adjustments emerged mid-thought. Possibilities whispered themselves into being. The bridge didn't just interpret his commands. It dreamed alongside him. He lived close enough to the institute to feel its radiant heartbeat, far enough to sleep without it pressing against his dreams. He enjoyed his work. He enjoyed the flow of data through his mind. He enjoyed the moments of silence between interventions when he could pause and listen to the low, warm tones of the clinic's internal symphony, an ambient composition tuned to reinforce neural clarity and emotional equilibrium. The walls themselves glowed faintly with bioluminescent tiles that responded to movement, shifting hue as if breathing with him. Sometimes, as he sipped nutrient-fortified tea dispensed from a recessed alcove in the wall, he would think about those who lived even closer to the center: professors, researchers, ideologues. They could access anything, travel anywhere. On the surface, this can seem appealing, but their work could be both a religion and a burden. Entertainers, the beautiful, sculpted, adored, they lived further out than one might guess. Their value, ephemeral, difficult to quantify, rarely earned them access to the innermost sanctums. Only the best, the truly viral, could climb the rings. For many, their credits were spent on appearance and comfort, not on inner access, potentially due to its difficulty. While the military police, builders, and other service workers could be seen all over the city, the bulk of them were primarily housed on the outskirts, far from the city center. This is where they were needed the most. A new ring was always under construction, expansion always the goal. You could live a good life here unless you dreamed of an inward existence. Then a glimpse of a well-placed advertisement could invade your thoughts for the remainder of the day. But again, Thomas was content. His work mattered, as his meditation simulation liked to remind him. It was more than performance. It was intervention, precision, and repair. And even in a society engineered for constant improvement, the ability to restore a limb, a joint, a life, that still held weight. Each year, the quality and longevity of life continued to increase. While death did occur naturally, it was rare and usually sudden when it happened inside the city walls. Each one, analyzed and uploaded to the medi-cortex. He returned to the console. The next patient profile was loading. A slow exhale escaped him as the holographic rendering rotated into view. A child, barely 9 standard years old, injured in a sport designed for adults. Experimental reflex augmentations had overridden common safety limits. Now the child's tendons had unraveled like soft threads in a centrifuge. Thomas stared for a moment longer than necessary, not out of uncertainty, but out of reflection. This world was built for progress, yes, but sometimes it forgets the cost. But that was his job, to help mitigate those costs. The Edge of Knowing, by Jason Derek Watson. Chapter 3: The Quiet Work of Gods.